Get over rating yourself. Hi, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. I wasn't going to record this today. I just wasn't. I was tired. Wasn't feeling it. I had done some stuff today. I felt creatively drained. I felt as though I did not have the energy to do this. I had other things going on through my mind. And then I saw some spectacularly poor advice and then some spectacularly good advice. And I thought, it's not that you've seen it, but I'll sort through it anyway. You can't. I think this is a horrible time, just in general, for young men and women to be single. To the community of people who fall into neither category, the transgender community. I can't speak to your issues. I'm sorry. I don't know you, and I don't know the specifics of the community as it relates to you, and really to the young women out there. I don't know the specifics of what goes on with you nearly as much as I know the specifics of young men, having myself been one. But I will still speak to the experience because I do have some experience with young women. That sounded weird the way I said that, but the point remains. Starting off, I got into a little bit of a YouTube hole. You know, that kind of thing where you're just sort of scrolling through the YouTube shorts and you say to yourself, wow, the world can't get any worse. And then 2 videos later you go, wow, the world got worse. It's impressive. But I keep coming up on the Whatever podcast, and no hate to and I've actually listened to the full-length podcast to give it, to be like, okay, these clips can't be all this is. And actually, on the full-length podcast, it is quite balanced. But when these clips come out, I don't know who's making these clips. Chinese bots, Russian bots, perhaps. They're designed to make you think we're doomed as a society, just in general. But the men say stupid things. And the women say stupid things. I can barely call the women on the show women. Most of them are like 19 to 21, which I don't know about you, but I was very dumb at 19 to 21. This wouldn't be such a bad thing if the men were also 19 to 21 and you had competing levels of stupidity, but you don't. You have men who are probably 25 to 30. Now, I'm 33, and that doesn't necessarily make me intelligent, but it means I've lived a significant amount more life experience than your average your average 21 or 19-year-old. It would be weird for us to have talks about dating unless we were to say, wow, how different our dating worlds are. The debate that comes up frequently on the Whatever podcast, and it does devolve into a debate, and it drives me nuts, is the host asks the question to the girls specifically, and then he asks the gentlemen as well, but it's usually the girls who get clipped out. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the ugliest you could possibly ever be, and 10 being perfection, where do you rate yourself? Inevitably, a young woman who is perhaps not objectively the prettiest woman on the planet will rate herself a 10. And then it will turn into an attack on the young woman's confidence, like, well, you should be more humble to know that you are not a 10. And then she inevitably says something to the effect of, I have to be confident, you should always project confidence, all women are beautiful, yada, 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 yada. Inevitably, there's very few men, I think, I've seen on the show who say, I rate myself a 10. First of all, the question itself is inane. You ask what you rate yourself. And I'm sure it's fantastic self-confidence to look in the mirror and rate yourself a 10, no matter what you're looking at. Now, the problem with a binary method of measuring your own attractiveness is that attractiveness is not binary. It is nuanced. And I mean binary in terms of like 1 or 0. I don't mean binary in terms of like, we're not talking genders right now. We're talking specifically trying to measure your attractiveness as a binary It's not. Everybody's into something else. Everybody's into something different. It's you as a human being are more than just what you see in the mirror. We all are. Now, you would argue back and forth, okay, are there people who are objectively prettier than others? And well, okay. But then you're just comparing one aspect of attractiveness. You're comparing the physical looks aspect of attractiveness. That's one aspect in a whole array of things you can be attractive for. You can be attractive for your intelligence. You can be attractive for, I don't know, your athletic ability, which you could be, if you look at NFL players, some of them, you can certainly be ugly as a brick and be excellent at football. Your athletic abilities, your activeness in the gym, your ability to read a book, the happenstance that you happen to own a dog. Attractiveness is a wide-ranging thing, and when it comes down to it, physical attraction is really an initial, but not all that broad aspect of attractiveness. Because if you start dating somebody who's smoking good looking, if there's nothing else there, that relationship is not going to last long. It's just not. And the reason I bring this up, number one, is to highlight the stupidity of just sort of the binary of that. But then I saw an actually really cogent, intelligent point on this. Because it wasn't a man speaking to women and saying, women, you should humble yourselves and stop thinking that you should dare to have self-confidence. It was a man saying to men, like, guys, if you're worried about this whole physical attractiveness thing, here's the truth. Go to the gym 3 times a week. You probably find yourself in one of the top percentages of physical fitness among the general public. Spend a little bit of money on clothes, and you probably look better than 90% of people around you. Spend a little bit of money on a haircut, you look a little bit better there too. He said all these things, basically, that can, if you're really worried about the physical attractiveness side of it, there's a lot of things you can do to make yourself at least a baseline of make up the number 6 or 7. But the other aspects of you need to feed into that attractiveness. And that's where this sort of debate, for what you can call it, gets really stupid. You can't quantify the things that make you attractive as a human being. The world and you can't quantify the things that make you attractive as a human being. And you shouldn't bother trying. Yes, young men, you should go to the gym. You should do a little cardio. You should spend some money on clothes. I didn't mean to do this in a shirt and tie, but it's not a bad idea to have a shirt and tie and know how to wear it. It's not a bad idea to get a good haircut. It's not a bad idea to, generally speaking, keep yourself groomed. He says as he has a horrible neck beard that he needs to shave. These are all good things. But don't fixate on that. You can't. Because it'll just drive you crazy. Because no matter how good you look, somebody always looks better. But just because somebody looks better doesn't mean you can't look good. It's not a zero-sum game. Don't be afraid that somebody else is going to look better. Just look your best, and then just be you. You are the attractive aspect of yourself. You are what's going to take you from whatever number you think your physical attractiveness is to that mythical 10. You are a 10, but not because of an arbitrary scale. You are a 10 because you are a perfect you. There is only one you. That is the ultimate piece of attractiveness when you gather that up and you understand that. And that is wisdom, hard-fought wisdom, that we got to here at the end of this 10 minutes. It's late at night. I'm tired. You're tired. Thank you for listening. If you liked what I said, like and subscribe. If you didn't like what I said, leave a mean comment and tell me I'm a 2. It's nothing I don't hear in my head already. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Nick. This is 10 Minutes with Nick. Have a great night.